A very warm welcome to Mining Review Africa. Today we're speaking to Dr. Rendani Matakanye, Finance Manager at the Council for Geoscience. Doc, thank you for joining us.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Doc, tell us what inspired you to pursue a career in finance.
I think my parents, and my dad just pops up because he had a very important role to play in the elementary stage. A former teacher by profession before he went to corporate. And I think the way he broke down the concepts, it made it very easy for me to, fall in love with numbers. So they have been just part of my life. And I think the numbers are really fascinating. My mom, also a teacher, she did her method in accounting, business management. I think it was business economics then, and economics. So I think they had an influence. So for me to fall into that space, it came quite naturally. And I think the rest is history. I'm in finance and I love it. I think it remains my first love because of that background. So they did play a role into that phase.
That's amazing. And what do you enjoy most about working at the Council for Geoscience?
It's mainly the people, the leadership. I think we are being led at the Council for Geoscience. I have never really worked for an organization like that. The CEO, Mr. Musamabuza, and the whole executive, they are really championing the cause. I mean, being in that space really makes me want to go to work. It's more like a family when you are there. And as a person, I'm challenged on a daily basis by, the thought leadership in that, we are a research institution. We just have some of the best researchers and best scientists, and they're all outstanding in their ways. The teams work very well together. I think that you see it's the actual fiber of the organization. You can touch that leadership. And I think for me, it really stands out as the organization. It's a high-performance organization. I think it's all out there. You can see it in our reports. And there are some of the very big projects that the organization has embarked into. And those are, for me, making a big impact in society. The mining industry is evolving. And we are playing in that space. And we have championed, through our research, some of the national flagship projects. You look at a project like the CCUS. You look at the ESCOM project. Those are projects that have got impact nationally. And I think that is one of the reasons why you look forward to going to work, because of the impact and how, the CGS is finding its place through its leadership into society. So I'm really grateful to be part of that team and to be part of the organization. You work with pride because you are going to the CGS and you work for the CGS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And how have you managed sustainability in the organization with your financial background?
For me, when you are part of the team, you need to know what's happening at core business at all levels. And I didn't waste time. I mean, getting there, I just hit the ground running. I've participated in some of the research work at the CGS, some of the publications at the CGS. If you look at our industry and you look at the impact of mining in general, it's an industry that has got its own externalities, like any other industry. But ours are visible out there in society. They're visible in the environment. So being part of the team that I see CGS as that company that is actually reversing some of the environmental impacts. And I see CGS as that company. If you look at the environmental footprint, we are the handprint. Just looking at the work that is being done, and we've led the CCUS project. It's not just about South Africa. It's a global project. We have attracted some of the global minds because we have led that. And I think that was even made possible with, if you look at the partnership that we had with the World Bank. So for me, we are a global leader in our own right as the CGS, and that has cemented in the industry. But now looking at sustainability in general, I had interest in this field for some time. And I think it is natural for finance officials to start seeing themselves in that prism, because if you don't understand, it becomes very difficult to support. So we are getting our hands dirty, and we are making, we try to get funding available so that we can channel our resources towards projects like this. So sustainability is very key. I have published in that space. I have done a doctoral degree in that space because of the need that I have and this handprint that I'm talking about. I think it's time we address some of the impacts that mining has done in the environment. And I mean, talking about that, there's been a lot of work that was done by government. Most of our laws and our regulations are literally doing just that. And I think I feel very blessed to be part of this journey that the CGS is doing. So I will support the CGS in whatever we are doing. And that's why I have participated in some of the areas that are not necessarily within finance because of that. So we just need to look at sustainability as, something that we need to pursue, especially in the industry.
Sure. That's amazing. Tell us about how are you helping to empower women in small-scale mining operations?
Okay, maybe some bit of a background. There was a lot of work that was done by the department. And I was one of the key role players because I was in the gender mainstreaming committee, if you like. And we underwent enormous training just to bring this concept of gender and small-scale mining. And, there were programs that were run. And I think for me, that was the first baptism. And it actually awakened me to say, there is reason for us to continue supporting projects in small-scale mining, because we had the muscle, the means, so you can connect the technical expertise. You can connect through the program where I was also in the gender committee, a deputy chairperson. So you would see the projects that really deserves their support, and those projects are thriving because if you look at women in society, they undergo so much, but there are certain projects like if you look at the aggregate space, they have a role to play. There are other small scale mining projects where women in general are participating, and you can see the resilience of women when they are in such environments. So we had the capacity because of, my role in the department before I joined the CGS, and you could see the impact that it does in the mining sector. So, there are women in various communities that continue in this space, and I think those are the women we need to honor, and those are the women that we need to celebrate because of the environmental and the society at large. In some role, we also participated in through that structure. We'll attend women issues in August. I must also mention Menonosi Mukwena at the department because she led that project and she, in the industry. So through that participation, we even went to an extent of saying that if we want to make a difference for women out there, we also need to inform policy. And our presentation was that we need to start making this a government priority, and we submitted our inputs so that that can be accommodated in how we shape, and support such projects and women in general. So I'm glad to say that, today we can talk about responsive budgeting because of some of the inputs that we made through that structure. And I think for me, it goes a long way because you start making it an imperative that needs to be supported in that regard. So I think that's some role that one has also played.
Sure, that's beautiful. And with all the work that you do, how do you maintain a work-life balance, and what do you enjoy doing on your free time?
Work-life balance. I don't know if we do have work-life balance. I don't think there's a formula. For me, I do what I enjoy most, and I love doing what I do. It doesn't feel like you're going to work. But on my free time, some adventure here and there, family time. And then, of course, I'm a Christian. So I would also want that time, with God and, to remain centered and grounded. I think for me that's very important because it's only the grace of God. And I thank God for that. I thank God that I've got work. I don't see it as work. So maybe that's the balance that I have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. And what message do you have for young women who actually want to enter these spaces, but they have doubts and they think they won't make it?
I think believe in yourself. If I were to tell my younger self, I don't know. I would not be here if it was not in one challenging oneself, pushing boundaries. Yeah. So I would advise you to really focus on what you strongly believe. Me in finance and sustainability, it just happened because I believed in myself and I believed that I can make a contribution. I thought I was an introvert and I would write. And I think because I just loved writing, I ended up, going into the research field. It's not natural for finance people to be writing because we deal with numbers. We deal with charts, graphs, we do analysis. But, you have to push yourself to a certain extent and stretch your boundaries because the world is, an oyster. So we can go there and be whatever you want, especially in South Africa. I think we've got a great country. I think opportunities are vast. I think that we cannot limit ourselves. And there's so much going on. I think if we had these technologies, we will early, in our lives, I think would be very far by now. But, we have this now. I think anything is possible, really.
Oh, wow. I love that. Anything is possible. Well, that was Dr. Rendani Matakanye, Finance Manager at the Council for Geoscience, sharing a bit about her journey with the organization and what keeps her going. Dr. Rendani, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.